The Kris Tyson situation is disgusting, says Oompaville. I would agree. It is extremely concerning that someone with the position of Kris Tyson is involved in this sort of thing. But let's be honest, it's not the first time. We've talked about this a bunch. Everybody has, and it's honestly one of those things that has kind of just become a fact of reality. When a YouTuber gets big enough, you kind of need to just expect them to turn out to have been a little pervy with it, which it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. We know that, but it's just a thing. So let's see what Mr. Giga Asperger's has to say about it.
Today's video is about Dr. Kris Respect, aka
Kris
Ava.
Respect is so
MrBeast
funny.
recently became the largest channel on YouTube with over
Yes.
300,000 subscribers, and he's been YouTube's golden man, golden boy, whatever, for quite some time. Every single video he puts out gets millions of views in seconds. It's crazy, and it makes me want to beat my head against a f***ing wall, okay, guys? The fact that this happens is because the man is incredibly brand friendly, and it's a very kind of corporate. They did the
Very
Squid
high
Games on
production
their
stuff.
own. It's a very big, new, high production value thing that is kind of the antithesis of old YouTube. And in spite of the content,
His YouTube thing is basically just very high production stuff, which, it kind of doesn't fit the niche of most YouTubers, but at the same time, by not fitting that niche, it kind of creates its own niche in the YouTube space.
content sort of being the antithesis of old YouTube, YouTube still looks at it extremely favorably. Every brand wants to do a deal with MrBeast. He's the golden boy. Like he is the golden boy.
He's
We're doing
extremely
over
brand
200
friendly.
million views. The first 30 days, the average video right now does 140 million views.
Right.
The first 30.
Right,
And then the
right.
first year it does like 220.
Throughout his career on YouTube, the man has had a list, a rotating cast of friends and characters that appear in his videos, but only a few have remained loyal. We've got Jake the Viking, he dropped out real quick. Also Sneeko. Sneeko was also part of MrBeast's crew for a
Sneeko
little
was
while.
there for
I
a
do
little
not
bit.
like Sneeko at all. I hate Sneeko, actually. And Sneeko is on Twitter right now.
I wouldn't even
bitching
say
at
that I
people for
hate
not
Sneeko.
covering
I
the
would
Ava
just say
Tyson
that he's one of those like really, really small, petty people that you can't even really like respect them enough to dislike them. Like he's the type of person that you can't even really dislike him because there's nothing to dislike. He's just such a nothing of a person that it's impossible to like truly have a negative opinion about him because everything he says is somebody else's opinion.
story.
Where's the consistency? When are you gonna go and disavow
Everybody's
Kris
talking
MrBeast?
about it, by the
You
way.
have
Like
way more information. You actually have the receipts, and you haven't said a word yet. Immediately, Dr. Respect. Ew, disgusting, worst person ever.
And a couple weeks ago, he was bitching about lowering the age of consent.
What do you think the age of consent should be? If you want to be consistent, you don't think anything updates, just tell us what you think it should be.
I think it should be past at a developed age. Dustin.
What is a developed age? If you had to say
And by the way, Destiny has to be one of those people that it's like he's almost as bad as Sneeko, except at least he makes his own opinions, except those opinions always tend to be whatever is most inflammatory to the most amount of people. He just wants people to look at him and just feel as though he wants people to look at him and feel as though whatever it is he's saying is right, but he wants to say it in the worst way possible. This situation with Sneeko, and in fact, for the past few months, he's kind of managed to not be a complete degenerate, but like with the thing that happened with the president of the United States, or former president, I guess. Do you stop being a president when your term ends? I don't think so. Well, whatever. But with the assassination attempt and the things he said, like he kind of cemented himself for the next few months as the guy to be hated on the debate space. So it's kind of cringe. But honestly, getting cooked by Destiny is even more cringe.
set a law for it, what would you set it? What would you set it about?
It's a developed age.
No, answer the question, you Holy shit, you're such a cowardly fuck.
The internet is terrible with all this kind of stuff, and I'm continuously
Though it is
trying
funny
to do
to
my
see
best
Destiny
to
call
get true
somebody else
information
a
and actual
cowardly fuck.
factual stuff to put in front of you guys and cover these situations and stories as reluctantly as I possibly can, because I hate this shit. I don't like doing this. I don't want to talk about these people anymore. I hate these people.
Then don't
I
talk
want
about
them
them.
all to stop. To make me feel better and to pull me out of this negative headspace for a little bit, I'm gonna ask you all to do something for me. Go to
Okay.
sour.gg. I don't really care if you do or not.
I don't.
But we got candy. We got all sorts of shit. I don't usually put brand deals in these types of videos, but I don't care. At this point, I don't like the internet anymore. Please go to sour.gg and just buy stuff. You don't even have to use code Oompa. Just
Here's the thing, Oompa. Like, you're absolutely in your right to make a brand deals in this type of video, because you know, if these people want to get turned into content so badly, turn them into content. Monetize the fuck out of them. Make your greens, my G.
buy something. Support a company that has
Oi, oi,
actual
how's it
good
going, Ale? Been a while.
values
Where you
and
been?
is made up of people that care about what they do. Anyways, aside from Sneeko, one of the people that has been in the Beast crew is Ava Tyson, the meme god, childhood friends with MrBeast. And stuff has been coming out. A lot of stuff's been coming out. There has been some stuff that sort of was swept under the rug a couple months ago. And if all this stuff is true, this has massive
goody, that's what I
implications,
got.
not only on Ava, obviously, as an internet dweller, but MrBeast as well. The MrBeast industrial complex. And
Mr.
compound
Beast
this,
industrial
adding to the
complex.
situation, some
Bro, with the
former
military.
employees of MrBeast are coming out on Twitter alleging that MrBeast knew about this all along. And
Look, of course he freaking knew about it. But the thing is, Kris Tyson and later Ava Tyson, he and she were one of MrBeast's oldest friends. Like, if I'm not mistaken, they knew each other before the channel started to like actually, explode in popularity. So it's like, yeah, I can completely understand why he would be reluctant to, kind of go against his friend just because his friend was a little fucking creep. Which, from an outsider perspective, it's like, oh my God, you should have gone up against him like immediately. You should have kicked him out. And if we're being smart about it, absolutely. It's like if I have a brand as big as MrBeast's, and I have somebody on my team that has all of that in their past, they're a ticking time bomb. Eventually, that's going to come out. Yeah, you either delete all of that and make sure that as much of it cannot be traced back to you, and you never interact with any of that again. And if I get word that you have been interacting with it again, you're done. It's over. Or you're done. It's over. Like, I can't have you here. If I was trying to do something that the same thing that MrBeast was trying to do, why would I ever endanger everything that I've built for this person that clearly is endangering what I've been trying to build? Like, you can say, oh, Kris Tyson is his own person. Sure, but his entire online persona is irrevocably tied to MrBeast. Everything he does online, it reflects on Jimmy, and it reflects on MrBeast brand, and it reflects on everybody else in the MrBeast team, and it reflects on his own family. Like, you cannot be this online, this tied and connected to so many people, and then do this stuff, because you're going to hurt all of them. You both profiteering on each other's drum while claiming to not like that. Okay, see, here's the thing. People who say they don't like drama only don't like drama when it's about them, which is perfectly fine. We're social creatures. We like to talk about this stuff that happens in the social circle. It's interesting to us. It's fascinating to us, even. So it's like, yeah, people like to talk about the drama. But I'll be honest, somebody who is this big and this famous and this well known, getting exposed as a child lover, kind of that goes a little beyond drama.
And knew from the very start of Ava's behavior that this was going on.
My name's Dawson. I worked at MrBeast from February to May of this year, 2024. Kris is the tip of the iceberg.
Could this be the downfall of MrBeast's massive empire?
Absolutely,
Over
it
the
could be.
last 30 days,
Absolutely, it could be. All it takes for this to child lover, yeah. Oh yeah, that's what we're talking about here. We're not just talking about like regular old drama now. This guy would commission Shadman himself. This guy was one of the people who paid for Shadman to draw pictures of real life young girls. That's what we're talking about here. Like this is next level shit. This goes beyond just drama. This is some type of thing that he could face legal problems for. And I've made my opinion before, like very clear before, but like lolicon stuff, you know, if you like the lolly shit, it's like there's only one reason you could like that, and it's because you like kids. Because if you didn't like kids, you wouldn't like, you know, anime kids. Because that's it. Like, there's nothing there for you to like if you don't like kids. So this guy liking, you know, lollies and stuff like that. Yeah, you're a child liker. You like kids. I was about to say, and that's okay, but it's not. It's really not okay. I'm not saying he's committed like any form of assault against kids. I'm not saying he's like hurt anyone, but that doesn't change the fact that like he absolutely has this thing about him that absolutely needs to be addressed.
there have been several notable videos that have come out exposing Ava for similar acts that recently got destroyed on the internet, I guess, just annihilated. I mean, the guy is probably going to come back, but it's been pretty bad. The only people who've been defending him are fools who are doing so because they're engaging in a culture war, not because they are thinking about virtues and morals and doing what's right. So what exactly are the claims that are being made? How true are these claims? I've got to make it very clear that right about now, as soon as one allegation comes out, 10 more follow it immediately. You got the first plane that hits the tower, the second plane, the third plane, followed by the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and then consecutively. So
like the tower is rubble and there's still more planes hitting the rubble to make sure that there's no survivors.
On and so forth.
Really, Oompa, you couldn't.
Footage is really bad.
You couldn't leave that out of.
So
You
we're gonna
couldn't leave
try
that
to
out of the
filter
video,
through
huh?
this
You just needed
nonsense
that.
and
That
deliver
needed
this
to be in the
information
video,
as
huh?
concisely and
Oompa?
quickly as I possibly can, while I try to figure out what's real and just, you know, start to, I guess, find out who. Yeah. So anyways, a Cheeto, a commentary YouTuber, put a video 2 days ago saying it's over for Kris Tyson. Adrox put a video out 7 days ago titled, "This video will make you hate Kris Tyson." Brion put a video out yesterday saying Kris Tyson got caught talking to a minor. It's bad, parentheses, allegations.
It's not even an allegation. That's the thing. These aren't allegations, my guy. This is like established fact. There is evidence.
That is such a YouTube title, dude. I love it. And there's a lot more. If you just look at it, there will probably be many more by the time this video comes out. I try to put effort into the videos. Believe it or not, I know it's crazy.
Cap.
Yeah, yeah. Anyways, we'll move on. These videos go through Ava's past tweets, video appearances, Discord messages, Snapchat, engagements with other creators, and Professor X's device Cerebro was used to read her mind X-Men style, Big Chungus. First video that we looked through was Brion's video, and Brion was actually going through a video uploaded by a channel called Prism42, and you can see basically real time as this came out, other videos coming out, and it's being, everything's rabbit hole, and there's spins on every single video. It's wild. There's a lot of misinformation about this one and a lot of true information as well, unfortunately, which is kind of bad. And there's one person in particular, an individual called Lava, who is in these messages with Ava. The fellow goes by Lava GS. Lava is 20 years old now, but it all stems from years ago when Lava was underage, okay? By the way, Lava...
I don't give a shit about Hoyoverse or Zenless Zone Zero. Leave my money alone.
followed me at the point of all this stuff coming out and reached out asking if I wanted some clarification on stuff very early on, I think yesterday or the day before when all this stuff started to really break. And I got a lot of clarification from Lava. Lava is the supposed victim, by the way. So we have actual research done in this video. Lava was a longtime fan of MrBeast's, claiming to have found MrBeast when he only had 500 subscribers. And at one point, Lava got a signed CSGO knife from Jimmy, which is pretty badass. Now, it makes sense that if Lava found the Krusty Crew and the Jimothy Beast channel back at 500 subs, that he'd be a known person in their fan base. And Lava even appeared in a MrBeast gaming video, which you can see on his Twitter bio, but it has since been removed.
Lava, Pluto, assemble!
Hi, how are you?
I need you to make this 10 times harder.
How hard do you want it, Jimmy?
Hard.
So we've got tweet exchanges between Lava and Ava that go back, showing that they've interacted many times publicly. Lava was asked by Ava to be a moderator on her Twitch streams all the way back in 2018 when Lava was only 14 years old. And the interactions here aren't necessarily inappropriate, though the choice to call 14-year-old Lava dad is sort of interesting, I've got to say. Also, making a 14-year-old mod seems like a bad idea. I don't really know about that 100%. Twitch mod, I don't know. Maybe Ava wasn't aware of Lava's age at this point. I have no idea. It's just bizarre, though. This is not illegal or something.
Look. They've been in voice calls multiple times. If you don't recognize the voice of the person you're in a voice call with as being that of a 14-year-old, yeah, kind of got some serious problems with your hearing, my dude.
That can be led to cancellation. This is just weird. Prison then goes through a lot more tweet exchanges between Lava and Ava, showing that they have a history of interaction while Lava was underage and using that to prove a point. We don't need to go over all of it. There's plenty of other videos if you want to go really deep into that. I think the interaction we just went over is probably enough. We know that they were pretty close or close enough to interact publicly on Twitter and close enough for Ava to trust Lava to want to have him moderate the Twitch. And Ava even gave Lava a shout out in 2019 to tell them people to go follow in Lava's Twitch. This is where it gets a little bit more weird. Ava once tweeted that if she hit her Patreon goal, she'd release her, and Lava responded saying that he was Ava's first Patreon sub. That's weird. That's really weird. But we do have context for it, luckily.
He shows that he donated some money. He donated like $1 or something. So it's not enough to meet the goal. And he says, but not $5. Pathetic. Just kidding. Kissy face. Yeah, this is the part that I have a problem with.
Then the conversation supposedly ended with Ava saying,
no one can look at that interaction and go, oh, they just playing around. Okay, look. It would be okay if this was a 14 and a 15-year-old. It would be okay if it was a 19 and a 20-year-old. It is not okay when it's a 14 and a 20-year-old. It just isn't. It's just not okay. It just isn't. Like, everybody knows it's not okay. Lava coming out and saying, oh, it's okay, he didn't do anything wrong. That is completely besides the point. Whether or not Lava feels as though he was victimized, that doesn't change the fact that he was, in fact, victimized.
I posted some fire for you, please.
Look, that's like if somebody just ran up to me with a baseball bat, cracked me over the skull, threw me in the hospital for a week, and then I come out and say, no, I don't want to press charges. Like, it's okay. He didn't understand what he was doing. Yeah, the fuck he did. Yeah, the fuck he did. In that moment, I've got brain damage. Ignore whatever the fuck it is I'm saying. Throw the man in prison.
Share. This is like the thing that's been going massively
women can use
viral
baseball
on
bats
Twitter,
too.
by the way,
Not as
and that
well,
people
but
are
still.
primarily using to cancel Ava Tyson. Person then goes through a lot of Discord messages about going camping with Ava in the middle of nowhere from a Discord server, supposedly belonging to Carl Jacob, one of the other MrBeast team guys, where everyone is simping over Carl, including Lava. It's very weird, but parasocial behavior isn't that uncommon in creator communities.
It's still
and
weird.
It's just kind of why,
And should be encouraged.
creator communities and these parasocial relationships have really evolved over the last couple years, and we can all now clearly see that it's just not appropriate, and it's not a good thing to do, really. Unless you have a very small channel and there's like a lot of humility and just kind of evenness and transparency, I don't see it ever ending well for a creator with millions of followers or a lot of pull interacting with their audience, to be honest. It's weird.
Yeah, it gets to a point where you should still interact with your audience. You know, don't suddenly start believing that you're just, you know, a celebrity and better than everybody else, because, you know, that's just cringe. But like, there needs to be a certain space that is formed between you and the community, just because of the, you know, the power difference, right? The power dynamic is such that you can't really have an honest, like, discussion with somebody in your community, because they will not be able to argue back from the same position of power that you have. Like, if it devolves into an argument and you're just arguing with somebody in your community, and even if it's someone that you're having an argument with, but you're, you know, friendly with that person, the argument is fine. Like, if you have mods, there's a good chance one of your mods is going to ban them, just on principle of them arguing with you. And now you could try and prevent that. You could try and nurture a community of very adult people who are very mature and don't, like, you know, get worked up like that. But like, that's just not gonna happen on the internet, dude.
Very strange. People in the comment section of the prison video are saying that Carl needs to be investigated next, and they asked why he was in the Discord in the first place, ignorant to the fact that it is his Discord.
I think with Ava Kris Tyson getting revealed to be this, then now everybody in the MrBeast team has to be put under enhanced scrutiny, because now we need to know, like, okay, so one was like this. What about the others? We need to know if the others were the same.
Discord, and unlike a deity, Carl is not omnipresent, omnipotent, and whatever the other one is. Omnipresent, omnipotent, and omnipotent. I'd say Carl delete the server. Shit like this does more harm than actually good, to be honest. Prism also calls back to a delete the server. Omnipresent, omnipotent, and omnipotent.
He said omnipotent twice, but with different pronunciations. The one you were looking for, Oompa, is omniscient. All present, all powerful, all knowing.
I'd say Carl delete the server. Shit like this does more harm than actually good, to be honest.
Except basically what he said was omnipresent, all powerful, all powerful. Basically just a different
Prism
pronunciation,
also
so now
calls
it's
back
a
to
different
Snapchat
word.
that Ava
And then he
sent
flicks
to
his tongue
Lava
at us.
in
The
2019
fuck?
when Lava was 15 years old. It is Ava standing under an American flag saying, "For America." Kind of weird.
What?
To be is Ava standing under an American flag saying, "For America." Kind of weird.
I
to be
have no
honest.
idea what
You
that
know,
would mean.
bizarre. Could be an innocuous bad taste joke. Not 100% sure. And
Almost
it's
certainly
American flag
just a
saying,
bad taste joke,
"For
but
America."
like, not the type of bad taste joke you should be making to a 14-year-old when you're 20.
Bad taste joke, not 100% sure. And this is them meeting up in 2020. And one of the main points that Prism brings up in this entire narrative is trying to show that Ava groomed this guy because they met up in 2020. Then Prism says he's not going to dox Lava, then does dox Lava. We're not going to put this in the video. I just thought that was kind of interesting to read out there.
Yeah, that's
something I actually did that recently, and I feel really bad about it. I feel like a
Whoops.
idiot, and I'm formally apologizing.
Big whoops.
The TikTok psychic video. That's why there's a bunch of blurs. This all came out, obviously, and Lava, being someone who edits videos and is on the internet still, responded to a lot of the claims that were coming out on Twitter. One response was a retweet of Keemstar talking about his conversation with Lava, where Lava...
I was not groomed by Kris Tyson. I did not meet Kris Tyson by myself. I meet Kris and MrBeast crew with my family present. I ran a Discord with Kris when I was 13, and edgy inappropriate jokes were said. That's it. Yeah, that's like a thing. The whole thing with grooming is that you expose the child to inappropriate content repeatedly until eventually, you know, they are comfortable with that, and then you escalate to the next level, and then you escalate and escalate and escalate until eventually, you know, you're doing stuff you shouldn't be doing.
Lava
and not
denies
just saying
being
stuff
groomed
and
by
showing
Kris
stuff.
and didn't meet Kris by himself, and his family was with him, as well as when he was 13, he ran a Discord with Kris where inappropriate jokes were said, and that's it. And that's his explanation.
Yeah, that.
Now, I'd like
quote,
to
unquote,
point out
that's
from
it.
the side of the accused in the Dr. Disrespect situation, acknowledging that there were conversations with a minor that turned inappropriate sometimes, potentially, is all that it took for Dr. Disrespect to be canceled
Yep.
entirely. But that situation is compounded by the legal aspects of it. It had
Yeah.
to be bad for Twitch to get legally involved. It had to be bad for
Well, that's just it. The difference between the doc and Kris is very simply put a difference in branding, right? Dr. Disrespect was always a not very brand friendly character. He was always very confrontational, always very COD lobby-esque, right? And so when something like this happens, even if it's something lesser, even if it was something lesser, I'm not saying it is, I'm not saying it's not, I'm saying even if it was, Dr. Disrespect would always get hit harder than Kris would, right? Why? Because Kris, first of all, Kris isn't the lead man. Kris is just this orbiter around MrBeast. He's just somebody in MrBeast's crew. Without MrBeast, Kris Tyson is a nobody, which means that anything that he does is minimized instantly. Not to mention, Kris is much more brand friendly. Kris is much more, politically correct than Dr. Disrespect ever was, which means that there are all of these circumstances that kind of reduce how bad the situation is going to be and how big the reaction is going to be.
YouTube to deny giving Dr. Disrespect a contract. It had to be bad. So there is more context there with all this, but this is something that I would like to hear your guys' thoughts on. Where do you think this sits? With just this context of the situation so far, the Dr. Disrespect inappropriately messaging a minor.
It's like I said, it's about branding. It's about Dr. Disrespect not being as politically correct, and so when he messed up, he got hit that much harder.
Thing, and then the Kris Tyson inappropriately messaging a minor. But
And by the way, I say messed up because it is a screw up, right? I'm not like trying to minimize it. It's a fuck up. It shouldn't have happened. Dr. Disrespect, the fuck are you doing?
then the minor coming out and saying that I was not groomed, and sure there were inappropriate messages, but I was never in danger and not groomed, and I don't give a fuck, and neither should you. So I want to know your guys' thoughts on that. Lava has also tweeted
I think Lava should be
several
quiet.
times saying that people are twisting things to make him seem like a victim. He is not a victim, he says,
You are.
and he asks for help.
It's like absolutely, Lava is a victim. Lava is absolutely a victim here, regardless of what he has to say about the situation. He's a victim.
Countering the lies. The current pinned tweet for Lava, which says he is in no way a victim, currently has 80,000 likes, and he has images of the videos he's referring to as spreading misinformation about him. But the ones that he shows are from a Cheeto insensitive society, whose videos are about something we'll be talking about very shortly, and not the interactions between Lava and Ava at all. So I asked Lava if he'd take this down, and he's not sure he will. So that's up to him to do that, obviously. But he's aware that this is not true.
It's got,
a lot of
that's the most attention he's ever gotten on Twitter, most likely. He's never going to take those down.
misinformation out there. No hate, obviously. This is the real problem. This person, not anybody else. A lot of people are calling Lava a shill or paid off because he's defending Ava Tyson.
I don't think he was paid. I think he's just, he's infatuated with Kris or Ava. He's infatuated with that persona and with the MrBeast crew, and so he wants to defend them. He's just being honestly, he's being a dumb kid about it.
Lava said, one more thing, IDK how far you're talking about my side in your video, but it could mention that I have received 0 from anyone and none of my socials are monetized. I also am under no contracts with anyone, no NDAs or anything related. Some people are trying to claim this now. So that's what Lava said. I believe
irrelevant.
Lava. Also, Lava is very stern in that they are not a victim in this situation, but there's no doubt in my mind that the behavior exhibited by Ava is bizarre and strange to say the least. Now back to Prism, the guy who made this video. Nicholas Diorio in a tweet said that Prism crossed the line by trying to make this video by faking a job interview to ambush Lava with questions about Ava. And Lava confirmed that this was true in a one-on-one with me, which is insane to do that. So that's sort of the general covering of the situation, but in DMs with Lava, I got some clarity on everything Prism stated in his video. That sort of complicates things a bit further. That's why I've saved it until now, but everything should be out on the table.
I think we need
Everything
some actual
that's been
victim
talked about
psychology in this
needs to
situation
be.
instead of just why didn't he? Yeah.
aired out 110%, and the truth needs to be made as clear as possible, guys. Lava talks about how he joined Discord back in 2016 and got pretty good at setting up Discord servers with bots and how to use the app, etc., etc. And this was also he could set up servers to interact with his friends and communities, etc. Ava was one of the people who reached out asking for help setting up a server, so Lava did. But Ava never did or said anything predatory, and Lava stayed in the Discord because everyone was cool. They played games together, and over time, they grew friendships, and after some time spent together gaming, things just blossomed, like just standard community type stuff. Lava then says that he was the first one to start making edgy jokes, and it was a time when that was prevalent everywhere on the internet, which we can all attest to.
It doesn't matter who started making the jokes. Kris shouldn't have joined in.
Things have definitely calmed down over the last couple years, for sure. 2016 was the Wild West. Doesn't matter how old you were. Shit was crazy out there.
That is true.
Lava even shared screenshots of his DMs with Ava. He also debunked some of the claims made by Prism, saying that the Coming for America picture was sent in a group chat with Ava's friend group. And Lava also reveals that the interactions surrounding Kris's collection stem from him making fun of his friends for being addicted to because it's a funny word. But he was never shown any 18-up content by Ava, and Lava says that the he got from Ava were actually just a bowl of ramen noodles, which I think is pretty obvious since Ava changed the word from in the original tweet to nudes, N-O-O-D-S, when talking directly to Lava about what was sent. It seems like it was a joke from the very beginning. Lava then goes in depth referring to the Discord conversation in Carl's server about going out into the middle of nowhere with Ava. This all stemmed from an annual camping trip to North Carolina that Lava used to go on, and the place that they would go to is about 2 hours from the MrBeast studio. Sorry, Mr. Breast studio. And they took the time to go visit, and Lava was there with his parents, who also got to meet everyone. And, you know, that's just kind of seems like a cool thing outside of the context of what the is going on right now. It's like a fan meetup, whatever. That happens all the time. Since Lava had been helping with Minecraft videos remote.
Yeah, but it's different, right? Because it's not really a fan meetup. It's a meetup with this one specific kid and his family.
While he was there, he helped record 3 or 4 more Minecraft videos and then left. This is where things get sort of kind of more bad when Lava starts talking about his interactions with Prism directly. So Prism reached out to Lava for an interview under the guise of it being for an editing job for a creator that wished to remain anonymous. He also offered compensation for the interview, but supposedly never asked for the context regarding the interactions between Lava and Ava, or if it was okay to publish the video. Prism also didn't ask.
Prism is obviously a piece of shit for doing this. Like, you don't do this shit. Like, if you want an interview with somebody, you know, ask for the interview. Don't lure them in with something else and then ambush them. That's just shitty.
Ask Lava any questions that could invalidate the claims that he made in the video. That makes it even worse, I think. When Prism said he was going to keep Lava anonymous, then he shows his name and Instagram page, which Lava has since had to private, which is incredibly unfortunate. Oh, and wait, let's not forget, we gotta wait till what Ava has to say about all this, guys. Let's see what Ava has to say. Let's see what defense Ava can come up with. Let's see if it's a good apology. We're excellent at reading apologies on this channel. If this was all that there was, I feel like I would be able to take a very respectful approach and just, you know, this is a weird thing. I'm probably not gonna be that much of an Ava fan from now on because this is super weird. Obviously very odd, but the next bit of information that we have, in my opinion, is far worse and is, for my mind, incomprehensible as to why someone would want to do this. It has come to bigly light recently, apparently this has come out before I missed it, that Ava is a regular supporter of the online artist that goes by the name of Shadman. This guy has a pretty bad reputation. He joined a Swiss art school and was expelled because his art was so foul and considered illegal. He was even deemed a menace to society. How the fuck did that work? How do you get deemed a menace to society? Eventually, Shadman would go on to create his own website.
Well, that's easy. He probably just drew all of his teachers pregnant. And then started drawing, you know, pornographic content of the other students and likely other, you know, underage people, and that was that.
No longer available, fortunately.
You know, regular chat stuff.
And it could be
regular Shadman stuff.
You could buy some of it, I guess. Shadman became very well known online for posting lewd art, but what separated him from other NSFW artists is that he had no limit at all, which is bad, very bad.
Yes.
In 2011, he posted to his website an extremely lewd NSFW art piece of his own mom, and that's when people sort of began to see how insane this guy actually is. A few years later, in 2016, Shadman was requested by a fan to draw
The following part of the video we were literally not even allowed to put in. The UVR manual reviewers told us we couldn't. It is about Keemstar and Shadman. If you want to learn about it, go look into it. Shadman is a bad, bad man.
Yes.
Yeah. What's
Why is he
insane is
holding
that
a gun?
despite this disgusting and awful reputation that Shadman
Bro just has the AR-15 right there. Bro just came back from the Trump rally.
A fan base, and Ava appeared to be one of his biggest fans. Before Ava deleted all of her tweets, it was apparent that she was a big fan that often interacted with Shadman on Twitter, and a bunch of other YouTubers have kind of been shown to be interacting with this freak ass mother. Why?
He was a very popular person. A lot of people who were big at the time interacted with him in some way, shape, or form. Most people were kind of just telling him he was a fucking freak, though. But then, you know, some others were kind of like encouraging him to keep going and, you know, paying him for the shit.
Why, dude? First, Ava publicly admitted to owning a custom piece from Shadman and displaying it in her living room.
Weird.
By the way, credit for most of these tweets come from Adrox's video because they've been...
I'll be honest. Anybody who, like, purchases pornographic art and then displays it as a centerpiece, like, already you're fucking weird, right? If you then do that with a person whose entire career is built off the back of, you know, child pornography, yeah, no, you're double weird and should be on a watch list.
Been deleted. Ava completely scrubbed her entire Twitter. And I'm not sure if we can show this, but this is a tweet from Ava displaying the art that she got from Shadman. We can also confirm that Ava was very serious about the art because it can be seen in a video displayed on the wall. Even MrBeast had it shown on the wall. Very strange. Very, very odd. Don't do that. Don't do that. This is sort of the beginning of Ava's bizarre and strange behavior on Twitter. From there, we have a tweet of Ava
I'll be honest, though, in this video, if this was a higher quality, you'd be able to see that MrBeast looks at the thing and then his face just contorts into pure disgust.
Had it shown on the wall. Very strange. Very, very odd. Don't do that. Don't do that. This is sort of the beginning of Ava's bizarre and strange behavior on Twitter. From there, we have a tweet of Ava saying that they are disappointed in Shadman for not drawing Beast Boy art. Weird thing to say. Ava would also make some strange comments on a comic posted in 2017. The comic detailed two characters from Gravity Falls, Maybell and Dipper kissing. Already, this is an awful comic because those two characters are twin brother and sister. Ava would comment,
and
they're
also
twins.
their kids.
So at this point, it's just right. Just spelled incorrectly, and that's pretty gross. That's pretty disgusting, to say the least. Not something someone should be
like you should at least spell it right, you know.
Annihilated from the internet from, obviously. But like when you have a pattern of behavior for an extended period of time, and people repeatedly tell you how disgusting and weird you are, and you keep on doing it, at that point it's like, oh, okay. Maybe we have a problem here. Maybe we need to check the hard drives. People say that jokingly all the time. I think this is a very valid point to do that. Check the hard drives. Shadman
hard drives,
and Ava Tyson, to be honest. In 2018, Ava would be seen
Shadman, like,
that they found Violet Parr cute.
We're talking about
strange behavior. One of the biggest connections between Shadman and Ava occurred in 2019 when Ava accidentally went to Shadman's website and shouted him out on stream, showing her continued support for Shadman's work. During that same year,
at least the picture that was there wasn't one of the worst, right? At least it wasn't one of the worst pictures that it could have been.
Just a few months prior, Ava was begging Shadman to draw a girl from an anime. Very disturbing. Very odd. Don't do that. And
There's
if I
so
had
many
a friend that I
layers
found
of
out any
why
of this
that's
stuff happened
weird as
with,
fuck.
especially the Shadman stuff, I'd be like, are you a sick, like what?
Yeah.
Can you explain it to me? So yeah, and the Shadman thing does absolutely make the Lava
it's
Ava
just
stuff.
like you just sit down with them and you go, brother, the fuck? What is this? What are you doing? I can't be seen in public with you if this is what your online interactions come down to.
Look substantially worse in a vacuum. Now, furthermore though, Back to Ava. Deleting all your tweets, bad idea. Including the ones we discussed, it's a very bad look. Now, Twitter justice.
Now
Okay, guys, let's talk about...
Now you're basically just burning evidence, right? Can anybody name the one time in history where somebody burned evidence and they ended up being innocent? Does anybody know the one time? Because I don't either.
The internet is a place of misinformation. There's so much going on all the time. There's allegations constantly, and over the last few days, allegations being brought against Ava exploded everywhere, and it's blasted all over Twitter. We've got Jake the Viking making statements. We've got Sneeko making statements, wanting to get Ava locked up in jail, and then just a few weeks after arguing for the age of consent to be changed.
Right message, wrong messenger, because he's also like absolutely a pedo. The only difference between Sneeko and Ava is that nobody wants Sneeko for real.
Changed, bro. Make up your mind, you freak motherfucker. Also, check out this clip.
Yo, just the craziest thing about Sketch is I'm seeing everyone's like, Sketch is one of the most genuine dudes ever. He's genuinely, I don't know what's the new Twitch word. He's genuinely one of the most genuine guys ever. No, he's not. He lied to you about his life.
Okay, and your opinion changes every time another male enters the room because you're just so fucking addicted to other men's cocks.
So by that basis of logic, I would assume that Sneeko begins his relationships by telling people he lets his girlfriend.
All right, this fucking dude. You look like the guy who shot Trump, you know.
I just don't like Sneeko. Anyways, we'll move on. So
Bro had no argument. He had no argument. And by the way, no, the fuck he doesn't. He does not, in fact, resemble the guy who shot Trump. Let me see. Like, he absolutely does not, in fact, resemble him whatsoever. Like, see, Oompaville does not resemble this at all. You clearly see. My mic is fucked. Shit. God damn it. Sorry. I don't know how to fix it. The room echoes and I can't stop it from echoing.
this whole thing gained a lot of traction over the weekend and the last 2 days, and people
I need to like get stuff to absorb the sound in my room, like giant plushies and shit.
Talking about their interactions with Ava. One of the people who has come forward is Jake the Viking, prominent ex-MrBeast employee. Jake Franklin. He used to be a member of the MrBeast crew. He
the only person with testosterone in the group, let's be honest.
In numerous videos for about 4 months, and that was 4 years ago. Then he stopped appearing in MrBeast videos, and he made his
own giving away more just a few seconds ago?
Video explaining why he left.
I think it's just a matter of the mic that I'm using. Like if I don't talk for a while, it will kind of just increase the sensitivity, which causes it to pick up the echo. And then if I talk for a bit, it like lowers the sensitivity so it doesn't pick up the echo anymore. I've tried to make it not do that. Unfortunately, the headset that I'm wearing is one of those smart headsets that thinks it knows better than the user.
Been relatively quiet over the last
and I
couple
can't
years
afford to get a
the
better
Ava
one.
Situation blew up on Twitter, and it is known that Jake was not supportive of Ava when she first came out a year ago. So it has been no surprise that he has been tweeting nonstop about the current situation.
Well, yeah, if you don't like them.
The culture war side of this, I really have no interest in being a part of. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. A lot of people are like,
the culture war side of things is completely irrelevant. It's just people being stupid about it. Like, might need a standing microphone. Yeah, but like the good ones are expensive. I have a throne where you guys can try and you guys can like help support it. I've got a Blue Yeti microphone there, which if I can get that one, that'd be awesome. But yeah, right now can't afford to just get a new one.
You're a pussy, dude. Why are you such a pussy, dude? Why do you have mutual respect for people, dude?
Yeah,
dude.
it's like
you suck, dude. I'm trying to minimize the amount of harm that I do in the world. Trying to minimize it. Okay, and partaking in the culture war and political nonsense makes me feel like I want to kill. So I'd rather be respectful and get shit on for being respectful than anything else, to be honest, because it makes
like it's one of those things. I've said this before. The only time that the culture war becomes a problem, actually no, the culture war is always a problem. But like you see a lot of these people who absolutely fucking hate trans people for no reason, basically, and it's like, The only time that all of that stuff about sexual identity becomes a problem is when you try to bring kids into it, because kids don't know any better, right? You could have just you can make a child believe whatever the hell you want them to believe if you manipulate them enough, right? If you drive your point home into the kid enough, like they'll believe whatever the hell you want them to believe. So you should absolutely butt the fuck out when it comes to kids. If they come to you and they ask you questions, just let them explain themselves, and the most you should be doing is help them reach their own conclusion. You should not be telling them what the conclusion is, ever. And unfortunately, both sides do that shit. You got the anti-woke crowd who will just you've got this kid who's clearly, just confused because, this is a boy that finds other boys attractive and he doesn't know what to do with that. And then you've got the anti-woke saying, no, no, you're just confused. You're clearly straight, and all that does is hurt the kid. And then you've got the wokes doing the exact same thing to, straight kids. And it's completely fucked up because all of it just targets kids, right? The culture war people, all they do is target kids. They're both bad, both sides.
Feel like I can sleep at night. Jake's first tweet talking about Ava called her a bum, and ever since has been posting updates adding.
MrBeast co-host went trans and abandoned his family to pursue a fetish. It's been like, what, a year? He's already being outed for chatting with a 13-year-old while in his 20s, sending inappropriate messages, etc. Yeah. Honestly, more and more the quartering went from a fun channel that talked about fun stuff to just exclusive culture war shit and like the most vicious commentary. It's just he became such a hateful person over time, and it's entirely because of the community that it's entirely because of the community that he kind of fostered around himself. It's so sad to see.
His own commentary to the situation. Now, obviously, important to note, he is covering this situation intensely because he has a lot to gain from the
obviously,
attention from this.
everybody has a lot to gain from this.
And kind of take the side, Ava's disgusting. Let's, Jake the Viking, he seems like to know what he's talking about. He's got a lot to gain, so it makes sense. But one tweet in particular has blown up and opened a new can of worms, and Twitter has been running rampant with it. On July 22nd, 2024, Jake tweeted, "Jimmy knew," implying that MrBeast was somehow complicit with Ava and knew of her actions.
Look, we're not talking about any crimes committed. We're not talking about any of that. We're talking about a very obvious propensity that this person, Ava Kris Tyson, had for liking, lolly hentai, basically. He had posters of it up in his house. Of course, everybody knew. This isn't something groundbreaking. Of course, everybody knew. The tweets were public, my guy. Yes, Jimmy knew. You knew. Everybody who was around the guy knew. The only difference is now everybody else knows as well, and people are making their opinions very, very known, and they should. And I think that if Kris gets pushed out of the content creation space, which he should not be allowed in the content creation space because the vast majority of, the vast majority of the audience in this space is children. Therefore, if you have an attraction to children, you shouldn't be allowed in here, especially not as a creator. So it's like, and if he tries to come back, the reaction should be the same. It's like people should push him back out.
And still kept her around. So, since this, people have been running with the idea that Jimmy knew, and people have been going back through looking at MrBeast videos and his catalog, trying to find and prove this, but nothing so far concrete has come out aside from MrBeast being in a live stream and Ava comes up and says the N-word, which is just like, hello there, I'm from South Carolina or North Carolina, or just says the hard R live on stream. That's so Southern, dude. And not even really, I mean, that's like dumb to even lump all people below an imaginary line in with a racist or whatever, I guess. I'm not sure. The most that's come out in regard to the whole MrBeast he knew thing is a screenshot from a video in which MrBeast is seen looking at a shadow.
Untrue, this is potentially Chandler. You'd have to find the original video. Okay, this is a pretty good picture. Like, that is not the face of somebody who's comfortable with that picture being there.
Shadman
Like,
poster
I'm sorry.
hung up on Ava's wall. Admittedly, this photo does show that MrBeast had at least seen Ava's bizarre behavior.
Like, the guy knew. He probably didn't like it, but like,
about Shadman or knew the context behind it, because I mean, it's perfectly reasonable. I don't believe Jimmy knew or anything like that. I don't think this is some big evil cabal. I think that Jimmy actually is a good guy. And
I think he knew, but I don't think that makes him malicious in any way. Because, like, that's his friend. Yeah, he's got this weird fucking kink that he has with the fucking drawings that he, jerks it to, but it's like, okay, fine, whatever. I'm not gonna get involved with that because I don't want to have that conversation. And I've had friends where it's like, it's not to that extent. But it's like, I've had friends where it's like the guy keeps fucking lying, and I keep telling him, dude, you can't do that. It's going to come back to bite you. And it always does. It always ends up negatively affecting them. And then they'll blame me for it as if it was my fucking fault. But it's like, yeah, I completely understand how most people wouldn't want to have the conversation of, hey, dude, you can't, this shit's fucked up. You shouldn't have this. You shouldn't use this. Don't do this. Like, stop doing this. You're fucking weird.
And I don't believe that
most people don't want to have that conversation.
With maleficence.
I completely understand it.
That,
I think Jimmy knew. I just don't think he's a bad guy for not doing anything about it.
So it's hard to believe that Jimmy did know in some way. But at the end of the day, it's impossible to really know. Jimmy seems like he's very dedicated and focused on YouTube and changing the world, and Ava is not. Ava is focused on completely different things.
Yeah, like little kids.
It would make sense to me if Jimmy had no idea, and that, that Jake and Ava and all this, they're just complete and total outliers. But yeah, if Jimmy knew, Jake probably knew too, right? I don't know. According to this employee named Dawson, he claimed to work for MrBeast for only a few months this year. And in this video, Dawson claims that MrBeast has known that Ava was a liability for quite some time.
Of course he
cannot
knew.
Remove her from the team because she has threatened legal action, and she apparently knows too much. So I don't know. There's no proof. Trust me, bro. And
when
all this information comes out about everything that she knew, everything other people know, I promise you on everything MrBeast has done.
Oh, this is gonna get fucking heated. This is gonna get intense. I can't fucking wait. I like MrBeast. I think he's done a lot of good shit, but like, if it comes out that the guy's been fucking eating babies this whole time and like bathing in their blood and making fucking blood sacrifices to demons from hell to get super big on YouTube and have all this influence, like, that's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be insane. That's gonna be actually goated.
So far, it's just a fun
goated content.
Oh, MrBeast he's the eyes wide shut. I don't know. How much can you learn from working for just a few months? And I don't know. MrBeast has been pretty public about defending Ava. It seems like on the Twitter, on the twit, and after the Sunny V2 video, even, which in my opinion was done poorly, and I did defend Ava in that video. And knowing what I know now,
yeah, because you weren't defending her for being into kids. You were defending her for being trans, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with defending somebody's identity when that identity is getting attacked for no reason, right? So this whole, I feel silly for defending her now, it's like completely different situations.
Now, and the whole Shadman thing, I didn't do any research into that. I wish I would have. I would not have taken that stance, to be honest with you guys. I came at it from a basic human respect sort of perspective, and that is a naive,
but it's a completely understandable perspective.
Also, people have been shitting on me on Twitter for not covering this. It takes me 2 days generally to make a video. Very rarely can I turn around one in 24 hours. We'll do our best, but it's probably not going to happen. And it's not because I don't want to talk about this. It's not because I'm trying to defend someone just because they're trans and I don't want to upset the LGBTQ community. I don't take sides. I don't do anything like that, guys.
Not the type of videos that he makes.
I like people who are good fucking people, and that is the end of it. And if you like Shadman, you're not a good person. If you have a wife and kid and you're talking inappropriately with minors, you're not a fucking good person. Okay?
Yeah. It's a very simple equation. It's really just an if-else statement.
What? By the way, while recording this video, Ava responded with a non-apology, which I love to see because it's not good. It's bad. It's a terrible response.
It was a terrible
Glad there was a response, unlike Cody Ko. She apologized for her past behavior, comments, and announced that she would be permanently stepping away from anything related to MrBeast, which is good. And I guess Sunny V2 was totally correct. Well, not totally correct, but The title was correct. This was a mutually agreed upon decision. She'll be spending her time focusing on her family and mental health. Hey, focus on not buying stuff from Shadman. How about that? I want to add, I never groomed anyone. The person who gets brought up in these accusations is Lava GS. They vocally supported
This is not a good thing to say, by the way. He should not even have addressed it. This whole thing of saying, I didn't groom anyone, the child that I groomed says that he didn't get groomed. It's like that's what he's saying here. She's saying, sorry. That's what she's saying here. Like, this isn't a good argument.
They are false. That is true 110%. Lava, spoken to him. I can guarantee you that. Having said that, I humbly apologize to anyone I have hurt with my unacceptable social media posts, past actions, and to those who may feel betrayed by.
To those who may feel betrayed, I'm sorry that you feel that way.
How I used to act online. To lump these two factors together to create a narrative that my behavior extended beyond bad, edgy jokes is disgusting and did not happen. In past years, I've learned that my old humor is not acceptable. I cannot change who I was, but I can.
Your behavior did extend beyond bad, edgy jokes because you incentivized someone who was drawing pornography of kids. So yeah, it did extend beyond that. Therefore, the only disgusting thing in this equation is you.
And continue to
fucking weirdo.
I don't want these accusations to impact the hundreds of people who
but they're gonna.
True. Okay.
But they're gonna. Like, absolutely, they're gonna. You had years to, clean up your image and, cut that shit out permanently and, like, actually, take the steps to no longer be involved in that shit. But apparently, you just kept going. So, this whole, I don't want these accusations to impact the hundreds of people who work at MrBeast. Yeah, well, maybe you should have thought of that literal years ago, right?
The response to this announcement is not.
If you hurt or offended anyone, crazy start. See you never. Hope your ex-wife keeps you well away from that kid. And she should. Like, honestly, if I was the ex-wife, first thing I'm doing, I'm taking all of this to court and I'm getting a very serious restraining order. You're not coming near my kid. Disgusting, should be in jail forever. Well, no, he hasn't committed any crime yet. Told you so. Shut up, Sneeko. You're apologizing. You're saying all the allegations are true. This is a stupid thing because that's what the statement appears to be suggesting. I hate this whole, oh, you're apologizing. That means it's true. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. This is a stupid ass argument. Like, straight up, you dumb. Inferno Omni, you a dumb bitch. Straight up, you a dumbass bitch.
Not positive at first.
And shut up,
glance, with
Sneeko.
many people calling Ava or calling for imprisonment, and that includes calls from people within the
This is just more anti-woke shit.
LGBT community, because there are
the gays against groomers thing. Like, I get it. Like, I understand why it's important to actually band together and specify that, like, we don't like it when somebody uses our identity and tries to force it on kids, but, like, this group specifically, they've done so much that makes it feel so, like,
reasonable people
weird.
in any community.
It just feels like that group specifically, it just feels like they just don't like trans people.
Being a part of any community doesn't
rather than that
just
they're against
automatically make
groomers.
you unreasonable.
So weird.
Yeah, man, I don't know. All these people saying Jimmy knew. Did you not know? Like, this is so confusing and weird.
Yeah.
And as with all of my videos,
Because, like, if you and the thing that Jake said, like, Jimmy knew. Okay, how do you know that Jimmy knew? Because you also knew. So why didn't you say something before, right? It's hypocritical
I'm excited
and
to see
stupid.
your guys' responses down below. By the way, while this video is being edited, a lot more stuff has come out, and MrBeast responded and cut ties 100% with Ava, Kris, Tyson, and said that there's going to be an independent party investigation into everything.
MrBeast really said, "You don't quit, I'm firing you."
So that's good. MrBeast's response is 5 times better than Kris Tyson's response. That is for sure. In conclusion, Ava Tyson is a degenerate and probably shouldn't be on the internet or in any way interacting with minors or children, to be honest.
Absolutely.
You know, Ava, bust out the uke, make a real apology.
Yeah, make a fucking apology video with the ukulele. Oh my god.
What? Apology not accepted.
Pretty much. Shut up. Anyway, I hope everybody had a good time with that. Wait, let's just This whole thing is terrible and awful, and I hope that we get to the bottom of this, and I hope that we figure out whether or not Jimmy actually knew and just how much Jimmy was involved with. But yeah, with all that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.